All right, looks like everything's working. A lot of stuff to get to in a short amount of time. A little bit of a late start here. A lot of stuff going on here. So basically we had a big, not big, but a gap down in Globex. So we had that spike close after hours on Friday. And we opened here about 284, and basically gap was filled within 20 minutes or so. Basically been straight up since then. So I did catch a fair amount of longs, but yeah, I was screwing around with Trade-of-8's mobile app, and yeah, one of my stops was like screwed up, was auto break even when I didn't want it, and I got stopped out here. Was not looking for this high, was looking for like kind of entry into the single prints. I was long from 485 about, and was looking like maybe a little peek into these single prints from Friday, but we've kind of ripped right through them and now forming decent acceptance up here. So looking into one thing I do want to mention, this is a little bit of a special stream because it'll be the last stream on the H contract. So just a tip for traders, and actually kind of uniquely special here with VannaCharm, especially when we use like the equities to trade futures. It's very helpful in these few days when you're dealing with two different contracts which have very different numbers, to use the equities as reference, because of course the equities, they don't have contract changes or anything like that. And then my tip here is just go when it's contract roll. So typically the week of quarterly expiration, which is this Friday for the contracts, just go to the CME Group's website. If you just search like CME Group NQ quote, and typically I just track the volume. So let's do a little refresh here. So we're almost at parity. So meaning almost the same amount of volume has traded today on the March contract as on the June next contract. So probably it's just how I read like liquidity a little bit. So this is slightly, barely by 1,000 contracts, a little bit more, let's say, liquid. However, this makes things also difficult in general trading either of these contracts right now, because firms have rollover programs, stuff that will show up in the order flow here, but may have nothing to do with, how should I say, initiative positioning, right? So that's there. We got 5 minutes left, so we can take a look into the surfaces here. As it is right now in overnight, we are opening right at the negative gex, so we could get a pretty large initial reaction, either upside or downside. So definitely not, I wouldn't expect to see one of those, how should I say, messy opens. To the upside, it's all negative gamma, so we could see some pretty fast continuation, especially if that kind of couples with some short covering here. So that's definitely a case, or a possibility. The other case is we kind of go back down, look for the bid, see if this overnight push is real or just, who knows, like something to do with contract roll. And the flip there is down at 599, 598, from negative to positive gamma, which is, let me take a quick look here. Where are we on the 30 minute? So 598. Yeah, it's just about below those single prints. So that, that also from a profile perspective, it could make sense if in cash session we revisit these single prints in cash, not just rip through them in Globex here, and then look for the bid, somewhere down here, which corresponds with that gex flip. And one other thing I should mention, I've started working finally on an API, historical API for these, the open interest based surfaces, Gamma, Vanna, and Charm. So doing some work there, also trying to do some back testing. It looks interesting. So primarily right now I've just been focusing on the max gex and min gex and max vex and min vex strikes, and to see if they do get hit during RTH. Of course, that alone is not enough to build an edge, but initial results look interesting. And here on VannaCharm, we'll add a session replay, so you can see these surfaces be replayed on a minute-by-minute basis. So that's coming fairly soon. I just need to check a few more things, and those should be ready. And of course, we'll have an API way, so like a REST API that you can access that stuff. So, yeah, I can show you a little preview. This is the local build right now. So, but it'll look something like this. For now, just focusing on SPY and QQQ. But you'll be able to pick a day and basically come to the same type of dashboard here where you can see the surfaces. Yeah, so we got about 2 minutes till they open. So yeah, I guess the bear and bull case, as we usually do. The bull case, of course, is a follow through. Of course, probably not straight up, but some sort of bid finding, maybe drop down a little bit, maybe check out those single prints and then continue. And then, bear case is, I think, more clear from a higher time frame. We had the big news push on Monday, a little bit of continuation Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they sold it. So to be honest, I think it's really difficult where we're opening here. We're above yesterday's open, but on a daily time frame, we are not, at least in my opinion, not bullish. The only reason is we haven't made a higher high. So typically, like, the easiest way to I wouldn't say have a bias, but to potentially have a lean in direction is looking at higher highs and higher lows. So, Wednesday we had a lower high and lower low. Same for Thursday, and same for Friday. They tried to push us up, but we're about 20 points from Thursday's high on Friday. So yeah, definitely looking where they want to go here. We do know on the Qs, this 600 strike, I've been just basically watching for like 6 months. So let's see where they want to take us. Drop down to the minute time frame here and see what they want to do at this max gex, minimum gex strike. Sorry. So okay, so immediately changing the surface here. So max gex has moved down to 595. There's not so much negative gex here as there was. That's totally changed. And 595 is the min Vanna level here. Okay, so straight shot down. Got to refresh these TPOs. Let me just take a look at this is almost all negative Vanna, which is quite interesting. And I do want to see where VIX prints here. Okay, VIX is crushed. Okay, no interest in those single prints at all, which is quite interesting. They're about to clean up the overnight high. And the reason I'm taking time here today is because I just haven't been executing well on the 1 minute opening range recently. We haven't really had a clean 1 minute opening range breakout in a while. So just kind of watching. So it was almost let's see, like a 30-point drop from the open, and they pushed it. So yeah, I'd be interested. I guess what I'm most interested is this 24,800. If they can make a higher high in the cash session, then I'm much more convinced that this is a true, finally for the, I don't know, 100th time, a swing low that's being bid. So it looks like decent opening range breakout here. Hop back to the surfaces here, and it could continue, right? So 600 is now as we saw in open pre-market, is the largest negative strike, so that can basically follow through. We don't have positive gamma until 608. So it does have potential for a trend day if the continuation continues, right? So negative GEX is just as dangerous in terms of price action to the upside as it is to the downside. Basically just means momentum continuation. And VEX is starting to have a little bit of a surface here. 600. So yeah, quite pretty decent push up here. And I guess, yeah, the reason I am not quite ready to long is because of this longer term. Let's open the daily a little bit. You can see the nonsense execution overnight. For me, we had 3 pretty decent down days, and yeah, I don't think I'd look for longs until we're above 24,800, just for me personally today. So, I mean, we've had basically the value area as well moving significantly down every day, basically into the end of the day. So, but let's see. This market could be so stuck in this huge distribution that we just never. Or not never, but we just continue to bid these lows. I mean, it has been the case, but yeah, you have to think at some point it has to break somewhere. We need a decent excess, and on a higher time frame, like something like 23. I'm thinking like 23,000 or lower. So that's my little note here. If that balance breaks, that's typically what I look for when we have. This also works for shorter time frames on the daily. Like if you have a 2 or 3 day balance, and we get some move in Globex, or we get a break of that in the cash session, the first thing you can target is basically take the size of that balance, and the first thing you can do is target the half of that. So that would be 2,300. But all these numbers will anyway change because of the contract change. So yeah, I'm gonna take it easy, guys. I had a adventurous Globex, and yeah, I just don't see a trade here for me today. You could look also for kind of the Gex magnet play down to 595, which is kind of the upper bit of this lower distribution on Friday. Otherwise, interesting. The max vanna has also moved down to 597. So let me just check that quickly. Okay, and that's a bit below like those single prints. So yeah, I just like this open to close gap. I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. So yeah, and there's some selling here. The problem is, like, with days like this, like, yeah, of course you can make the claim like they're gonna go hit max Gex, right? But how do you short? Like, do you want to short above the 1 minute like breakout? I mean, you can, but that's pretty tough entry and pretty tough to manage. So, you know, if they get serious, you could short the 1 minute low, but also it's a huge 1 minute opening range. So tough. But it looks like this gamma unwind may already be playing out. So yeah, let's see how the day plays out. But I think that's it for me. Just like I said, got a lot of things going on with the product, and already took quite some trades in Globex. So I think this is our second no trade stream. Sorry, boring, but yeah, just with this configuration, like I just don't know where the edge is. I don't have a decent enough plan to have conviction in putting on risk. So, but very exciting week coming up. We got the futures roll. We've got PPI, I believe. We got FOMC. Vixpiration is on Wednesday. So definitely, probably a lot of stuff going to happen. And yeah, let's see where we are next Monday. We could be, who knows? In this market, we could be down at 23,000, or we could be at all-time highs. Who knows? Okay, that's it, everyone. I'm gonna take off. Thanks as always, and take care.